So you go hurrying off down, and you're still running through the forest, and you notice more and more of those stitched together shapes. Except now that as you're running, they start to unravel a bit. It's like,
let's hurry! This world is dissolving.
and
This
then
world is not dissolving. You
It's
fool.
dissolving.
The connection between them is weakening.
so as you run forward, you notice that the threads in front of you now crisscross the path, whereas before they were completely clear. So you have to step over them to continue.
All right.
All right.
So you
Slow us down.
continue moving through.
And slow them down too.
I'm tempted to like hack at these threads at some point, but I don't know why. Okay.
The
I mean, we
fish,
might have to.
the fish people don't seem to be responding.
Okay,
like they
cool,
don't seem to
cool.
be following you.
Okay.
And you progress through the threads, and you start to like step through them. And Frey goes, look out! And you like lift up another one, and it as you pull it apart, it reveals like this wide this wide view of this pyramid-like temple. And on top of the temple, there stands this man who looks to be about in his like late 40s. He's well built and stuff, olive skin, and he's holding his hands out like this. And there's a hat on his head.
What?
And on his head, it shines out this light. The hat shines out this wide beam of light. It just transfers all over the place. And as you look down, there's a group of people like bowing down to him at the bottom of the temple. It's the Hat of Shining Intellect. And sitting next to him, like swishing its tail back and forth, is a white cat. So like,
It's my hat.
you pull it apart and you're like, whoa! And you like let go of it, or
Yeah.
okay, you let go of it.
And it'll
Like,
snap back.
Yeah, it snaps back.
Okay,
That's
well,
not that great.
I'll try and pass it without disturbing the thread, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to like you work your way around it and like open
Yeah.
up another thread and step through it, and you guys continue to move through these threads every now and again. And as you're like pulling on threads to get through them, when you tug on them, these subtle portals suddenly appear. Like you start to see flashes. Like you pull it apart and you see this brief flash of like this old woman.
Now these portals are like
They're
where
like
the
windows.
thread was and between where the thread was and where you pull it to.
So like
these
yeah,
little,
so like if I had a rubber
shape.
like if I had a rubber band like this and then I stretched it apart, when you pull it apart, the portal appears.
Ah, got it.
So like you like lean on them to like pull them apart as you're going through, and as you pull one down, you notice that it creates a window to like you see this old lady sitting in this hut, and she's got a smoking cauldron in the center, and there's a variety of like potion bottles on the wall and stuff, and sitting at the far end of the hut, swishing its tail, is another white cat.
Ah, yes.
And you're like, and Merek's like, these all look a lot like Percival. Like you're starting to notice. You like let go of the thread and continue to walk forward, making your way through.
Well, I mean, could we not just grab a Percival from one of these dimensions? I mean, a Percival's a Percival, right?
Let's not play with forces we do not understand.
Triggering a cascade of other wizards trying to save Percival from other dimensions, because when you steal that Percival, that wizard goes, oh my god, someone stole my Percival, and they have to go after him.
There's
At some point, there's like 50 wizards running around the wardrobe, like looking for their Percivals.
yeah, like Peter lost his Percival, so there's one less Percival in the world, and so it's all like
They all end up like in a clearing, and each one of them has like a different Percival. It's like, all right, which Percival is yours? It's like,
So yeah, you pull the thing apart, and you see that old woman and the cat swishing its tail on the hut.
Okay.
And all these visions when we're opening up the portal, Percival looks pissed.
Wait. The
I mean, he looks different.
Well, I mean, swishing his
Swishing
tail,
his
right?
tail.
Oh,
is-
sometimes he looks
pissed.
bored.
Oh, okay. So you're saying swishing his tail is just like a description, not as like he's
Well,
annoyed with us looking.
He could be annoyed as well. Maybe he's annoyed because he's
Yeah,
bored.
James, come on, you haven't memorized all the cat
I'm just saying.
Don't you know once
signifiers?
when someone has a pet like a cat familiar or even any sort of pet familiar, you should learn all the ways that they communicate.
Yeah.
All the tail signifiers.
Yeah, I need to know all the non-verbal
Ears.
emotional suggestions of pixies and.
yeah.
All right. Does the old lady have one of the items?
You don't notice it if she
Oh.
does.
Okay.
Um,
Whatever. Close it. Let's keep moving.
so yeah, so you
I don't
close it,
care enough.
You press on, pulling through the threads, both of you. You pull another one apart, and you look out, and you're on that wide open ocean one more time, and you see that wide across the ocean, there seems to be this ship out in the middle of the ocean, and it's like a variety of people who are dressed in like sailor garbs and stuff, and one of them's got a telescope way off, and he's looking off into the distance, and he turns around to the men and he goes, "Run! Up sail! It's the river bandit! It's the river bandit!" And like
Oh, I see.
the portal snaps shut one more time.
Ooh, so these are origin stories for the items. That's so awesome.
Or like
There-
the worlds from which he pulls them.
There is
Yeah.
there is the legend of the river bandit, where the scarf comes from.
Oh my gosh.
Because when you outlay it, there's a scene of like a boat and whatnot being attacked.
It's
by
like the
river.
Pirates of the
Wait,
Saskatchewan.
is this a real like reference? That like
Yeah,
a real world
it's actually
reference?
Well, no, it's not a real world reference, but
Oh.
like, when I wrote the
That's-
spell,
You,
like,
you
I
wrote a
said,
story
like,
for it.
That's
yeah,
right,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
That's good.
For those of
That
you
makes
watching this episode at home in the year 2016, you should look up The Pirates of the Saskatchewan by the Canadian band The Arrogant Worms. And you will understand why the River Bandits are not only horrible, but hilarious as well.
Yeah, that's how they inspired me, or that's what inspired me for that one.
Yeah.
Also Dan Remy.
Ooh, nice.
Anyway, so that thread closes and you guys are like continuing to move through, and as you pull your way through the threads, you finally reach a point where the threads are so congested that you have to pull them all apart a little bit to step through a hole in them to continue onward. And as you pull that apart, Freya goes, this feels really chaotic. And she like flits back down in your pocket and like ducks up and goes, this is going to take us somewhere else. And she ducks her head down.
What does? At what?
Getting through the threads.
Yeah.
Oh, look, so they're at a point now where they can't actually stay in the forest.
Yeah,
so
it's
they
like
have
a
to
whole
go.
bunch of threads crisscrossing the path.
Oh, okay.
And then so they're
His thread though still leads.
it still leads right through them, yeah.
Hmm.
You can pull them apart.
So is this somewhere else going to be where that thread takes you, or is this going to take us?
Could I take my 10-foot pole and push them all down?
Yeah, you
Oh.
you
You have
press
a
them
10-foot
all.
pole?
You
Yeah, dude. Of course.
I have it.
I'm just
I have a
imagining it's your
10-foot
staff
pole.
at this point. So
I
you
also have a staff. They're two different items, James.
so you press them. If you can explain how you're carrying them, so you press them all
I got
down
one
like
strap
this,
on the back.
which you grabbed. Never mind. All right.
Yeah.
So
How does anyone explain having a 10
Fine,
foot
the
pole?
staff. The
Either way.
staff uses.
So you press down all the threads, and as you do so, you see this similar scene of a tiny little town with a variety of trees surrounding it, and it looks down, and Merek's like, "You're like, oh, it's Timber Town."
Timbertown. We have to step forward.
Yeah,
Wait, so the thread leads into Timber Town? Or
Yep.
how does this work?
it seems to.
Oh, okay. Let's go
There's nowhere
through
around,
there
Jovan.
then. Well, wait, is it like ground level Timber Town, or up
Yeah,
in the
it's
sky?
like ground level.
Okay.
Let me show you around my home.
Are you remembered as a
Is-
horrible murderer and like patricide guy
Well,
here?
see, I'm wondering if this is Timber Town of like the past
I
or
don't
something.
know. We'll just have to step in.
Oh, looks like we don't have a choice. Yeah.
So you step through it, and you step through Timber Town, and as you do, you step through the threads. You pass through this, and you're standing there in the middle of like the entrance to Timber Town, and then
No, I'm holding the portal open while he steps through.
Okay.
So it's not going to close behind him, and then potentially I go
Snap.
somewhere else.
Oh no!
Okay, so
Or he
Merek,
can't get
so
out.
Merek climbs through the portal, and you can see that the red thread still leads on right through
Oh,
Timber Town.
okay, that's good.
Okay, good. Okay, looks like we're in the right place.
You're just
I'm
gonna
step through as well.
you step through. Okay, so you step through, let the thing close behind you. As it closes behind you, the thread snaps shut in the air and it disappears.
That is fine by me.
Yeah.
That place was terrible.
So looking ahead, I need you to tell me a story from your childhood.
Ooh.
Story from my childhood. Oh, the improv skills. Oh man, I'm not prepared for this. How about why not the story about when Eldra was picked?
Sure, that's perfectly
yeah,
fine.
that's good.
Yeah. So what was it? A noble
How
from
old
a far
was she when that happened?
I don't know, normal age, like probably
16?
16 something
yeah.
like that. I
So-
would have been 18.
So you see like young Merek, like
Mm-hmm.
18-year-old Merek walking through Timber Town.
Oh, I would have been wearing the robes of Io.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so you're wearing the robes of Io, you're like in your garb, you got like a book with you, and you look and you see this far off in the distance through the forest, you see this procession of men in gleaming white armor coming forward, dressed as knights, and there seems to be a familiar looking like kind of round, fat, jolly face coming through next to the knights. It's Katros,
Oh, hey, Katros.
one of the paradigms.
I'm gonna grab my
But he looks younger than before, and he moves forward, stepping up to Timber Town. And as he does, he goes, "Greetings, citizens!" And he like raises his hands up high, and all the peasants and stuff like turn to look at him, oddly. and he moves.
Never mind.
I'm like, why is it Katros? She's married to Lalos.
Yeah. So he moves into town,
Princess.
and he goes over to one of them, and he goes, "Could you direct me to the home of the Ferrars?" And you a young Merek overhears this. So you're like watching this transpire, and he picks it up, and he moves over, and he follows him. And as Katros makes his way to your home, you can see that your father and Eldra are having an argument out in front, and they're like yelling back and forth to each other. And Eldra's like, "I don't care, Dad. It's not that hard. I want to go off into the forest by myself. Merek gets to go off and join the church or whatever. When am I going to finally get apprenticed away to somewhere?" And she's like yelling at him angrily like that. And her father goes, "It's not the kind of way things work. You're a woman. That's not how it works these days." And so, he's like yelling at her. And Katros comes up and he goes, "Ferrar family!" And they like turn around and they see Katros there with these two Paradigm Knights. And they step back, and your father bows down instantly. He goes, My lord, I'm sorry, I don't recognize what land you come from." And you guys are like watching this scene play out.
Oh, but he knows he's a lord, though?
Yeah, well, because he's with
Obvious,
knights.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Katros goes, "Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it, sir." And he steps forward and he grabs Eldra's hand and he goes, "I have good news for you, sir. A couple of weeks ago, my master was passing through this town, and he noticed your fair daughter here." And Eldra like gives him this odd look and looks oddly over at her dad, and Katros goes, "My master would like to request a betrothal to your daughter." And your father like looks up and like this sense of joy comes over his face. He's like, he never dreamed anything like this would happen. And he's like, Are you serious?" And Katros goes, "Absolutely." And he looks down at Eldra, and Eldra's like silently fuming. Like you've seen her this way before. She's a little pissed about this. And the father goes, "Yes, we absolutely accept." And Eldra shoots in this glare. He's like, "Dad," and she like whispers to him, and he goes, "Please, yes, may we meet the young lord when he comes by? I'm assuming it's a lord." And Katros nods and goes, "A paradigm of the city of Lier. Certainly you've heard of it. It's much further down the coast, across the wastes, but rest assured we get your daughter there safe and sound for the wedding. In fact, the whole family can come too if you'd like." And they nod and they go, "Yes, yes." And it's like this odd scene playing out. And you get the sense that Eldra was really uncomfortable about this whole situation, but she doesn't say anything. And then young Merek like runs over. And how would you act in this situation, hearing what just transpired?
Or how did you?
"Oh, by the grace of Io!" Ecstatic, happy for my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Because, family's been struggling.
Yeah.
It's been hard for father to, have, the eldest as the apprentice and to also care for Eldra.
Yeah.
As well.
So Eldra gives you a glare as you say that. And she goes, "Merek, I thought you were still at the temple studying."
Really taking my afternoon walk.
Uh-huh.
It's best to watch and observe Io's great works.
And Katros turns towards young Merek, and goes, "Oh, hello there." And he looks back at Eldra and notices the family resemblance, and he goes, "Is this your brother, my lady?" And she goes, "Yes." And he goes, And he purses his lips from it and like strokes his chin and turns to the father and goes, "Dear sir, do you only have a single daughter?" And the father goes, "Yes, only a single daughter." And the Katros looks and peers up in the sky and goes, "Ha, a pity. One so lovely as you would only exist in your capacity. Although I guess that makes sense. You are too beautiful to be copied." And Eldra like gives him a glare, like she's having none of it.
So Lalos visited Timbertown
Katros.
earlier in
Katros.
disguise so that no one would recognize him?
Perhaps nobody did if he passed through.
Alright.
So this is presumably before Katros became a paradigm himself?
That sounds like it.
Yeah.
It may be.
Because Lawless isn't his master currently.
Yeah.
But the timeline wouldn't add up because as long as you've been alive, Katros has been a paradigm.
Oh.
What? So maybe there's some like inter-paradigm like hierarchy that isn't apparent to the.
It's also possible as a trick that maybe Katros is the girl getter because he's so hot and
Yeah, I don't know why you
charismatic.
call him his
Yeah,
master.
I mean,
So
yeah,
he
it
just
could be
shows up.
charismatic where it's like,
Maybe he's just
he
playing up
convinces
the
girls. I don't
like
know.
Lawless's
Yeah.
I don't know.
Standing.
So you
I don't know why
guys,
they would need to.
you guys are like standing over in the corner watching this scene play
Right.
out.
So we've entered like the edge of the town, and we
Yeah.
had to like walk a ways to get to where we are now.
Yeah,
Or-
well, it's
or
weird
would we,
because it's not like you didn't walk, but you just sort of like were there.
Okay,
So
so
it's like-
so nobody
Nobody
knows our
noticed
presence.
you.
So
Nobody's
this is
seen you.
okay.
You
So
just
this is like
move forward. It's almost as if you're having a vision.
Oh, this is close to
Okay.
Christmas past.
Yeah,
like
that's
they're
what I was
not
thinking.
interacting with the environment.
right,
yet.
exactly.
Okay. So I was like, oh, if you meet your old self, there's a tear in the fabric of reality.
Yeah.
It's like,
no, don't show me this. It's too painful.
I know.
I might learn something.
This Jovan is the beginning of the end for me. Without Eldra's guidance, without her in my life, I sought out the quick answers to life.
Well, come. There is much we must see in this evening.
Yes, I know.
So like,
There are still 2 more spirits that will visit you before this journey is yet done.
so you go walking on a bit, and the vision goes and passes away, and suddenly you're back in the forest on the other side of that mass of threads.
So, so odd.
Oh,
Okay.
Yes.
These threads appear to only be a memory or a remnant of the past.
We're back here. I don't want to be
It
here.
makes sense. The fabrics I choose to empower my spells are that way because of memories. It's possible that the wardrobe uses those within its own realm.
It's like I said, you fool. It's all in your head. And then as you turn and look,
Wait,
there's the black cat is up in the tree right next to the roadside, and she's peering down at you.
Here to give us more warnings of death.
Cheshire Cat style.
And it hisses and hops off into the forest.
Oh.
The red thread leads on deeper.
We must press on.
We must keep going.
Yes. Quickly. You must find the ghost of
God,
Percival
only one
present.
Or-
Are
that
okay?
matters.
Are you actually like getting weaker? Is Percival still being like?
He doesn't seem to be
Weakened?
getting weaker, and you don't feel as if the connection's getting weaker. So if what Azazex was doing to free himself, it stopped as soon as Merek opened the wardrobe. So maybe that screwed with him a little bit.
Okay, maybe like his presence in the same realm as Percival.
It's
whatever.
possible. Hear me out.
Disrupted.
Can I see the
Do you
the
depend?
marker? It's possible that say
You're like drawing images in the dirt
yeah,
Yeah.
this is
or scratching in the fabric, I guess.
the world of Azazex, and Percival is here.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Little
couldn't
cat.
quite create a portal here. I couldn't bend the fabric of this realm to create a portal here. But what I could do was pretty much crash my realm into it, meld it like so, and create one mixture of both. If that makes sense.
But it seems that this world connects to many different realms, or at least visions of them.
It's only theories.
The black cat has given you the best clue. It's all in your head.
It seems like in stitching the wardrobe to what the realm Percival was taking to, you may have stitched your wardrobe world to many worlds. It's as though this is the world between worlds. They all connect to this place with all these threads and visions and.
Might have doomed us all. But
Succeed
no
or
matter.
fail.
Let's go.
You leave the wardrobe. It's only been a second
Let's go.
since you entered.
You're gonna like. There's gonna be ramifications. You're gonna like use the wardrobe spell to grab an armor, and like a fish man is gonna pop out and eat you, or something.
So you guys continue moving forward?
Yeah.
Alright. So you continue walking forward through the forest, and eventually the threads before, after you passed that massive clump, cleared up and ran through the trees again, and as you go along, they seem to be organized now. Far more organized than they were before, as if somebody finally learned good cable management. And they continue on down across all the trees and such, and you press on, moving forward, and looking at either side, you can see that they seem to be drawing closer together in a unified sense, as if they're like tying up into a singular thread. And as you walk further and further along, eventually you get to a point where you're just at the end of the forest. Like you can see the end of the forest, and out beyond you can see a wide flat plain of cloth. Like the ground is cloth out before you. And then the thread convolges on this singular point, and all ties down and creates another one of those thread crossings that you'd have to pass through to get outside the forest, and the red thread just goes right through it.
Let's go.
Okay. Can we? So we pull the threads apart to get through them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you pull the threads apart this time, and you just as you're about to head through, you hear this rustle behind you, and as you turn around, you see that the black cat is there again on the floor, on the forest floor, and it looks at you and swishes its tail, annoyed, and it goes, "I can go no further than this. Merek, since I can't persuade you, I must ask for your aid." And it strides up towards you and goes, "When you get to the end of this thread, when you finally find your cat again, kill him." And it hops off into the forest.
If you're gonna ask something like that, give some sort of logic or something, because I don't. What? Why? Why does he think you will? Oh, you will do what he says. You've already refused him.
I feel the worst.
Now, do you know who this cat might be? Because I have no idea.